Jim Moffatt, CEO of Deloitte Counseling, good to see you here.
Great to be here, Rhonda, thank you.
You are actually speaking on a very interesting panel called What Keeps CEOs Up at Night. So let me ask you that same question. How would you describe the state of CEOs in America? What is the big worry right now?
I'd like to start by saying it's a very complicated world these days. There's a lot of ups and downs around the global economy. Things are interconnected, unlike they have been before, and some continuing uncertainty. But I'd summarize it really three things. Topic around growth, looking for growth. The others around disruption, and then talent. Really across those three things.
What's the disruption part of the story?
You know, technology is accelerating. The pace of change around technology is unlike anything I've seen before. We've had spurts of it, but the opportunity with some of the exponentials to really change and transform business models. And so most of the large organizations that we deal with, including ourselves, are going through a series of having to evolve their core business and also start to move into new and adjacent spaces. A lot of this enabled by the exponential technologies.
And in terms of growth, we've seen a lot of M&A in the last year. You guys just put out a study that's expected to continue through 2015. Yeah. Why do we see these companies that have to make a deal to grow, that the organic growth is a little bit harder now?
Yeah, we've seen the topic of growth. We do a survey on this every year. We've done it for the last 4 years. Growth has been the #1 issue across every sector of the business community for the last 4 years. Organizations have had trouble re-stimulating growth since the downturn. And part of that, I think, is the uncertainty and the lack of confidence to invest long. Because a lot of these investments are ones that will take 3 to 5 years to pay out. And so, as a result, they're turning towards M&A. There's a lot of cash on the sidelines. There are deals available as a way to stimulate growth. But it really gets back to the underlying problem of being able to generate organic growth.
That same study of yours also found that some of these deals fall short of the expected return. So I'm not sure if that's on the integration side or maybe prices being paid for some of these deals?
Yeah, I think it's a combination that there's now enough activity around the market. The deals are getting priced up. But the integration of large organizations, the complexity of that shouldn't be underestimated. We find the ones that are successful really put a robust amount of energy into the post-merger integration, not just getting ready for day one, but how do I actually set the company up for success long term.
Can you give me an example of one deal that really worked well, that would be kind of the casebook study?
Oh geez, I mean there's so many of them you can't really talk about, but the one, let me talk about the ones that work in general, where I would say that there's a clear strategy and value proposition, and there's clear understanding of how the enterprises together create differentiation. And then number two, the synergies are well understood and well documented. There's great alignment within the organization around that, and there's a commitment to go get those synergies. When you see those things, and then lastly, I think a good understanding communication within the employees around what they're doing and where they're headed and why it's important to the organization and to them personally. Those are attributes of deals where we see that they tend to work out really well.
You mentioned the issue of talent, important for CEOs. Is it a struggle to find the right people to fill key jobs still?
It's not. We get 300,000 applications a year, so we're finding people. But with the millennials, I think 75% of our employees are now millennials. So what they're looking for, how they want to be engaged, what motivates them is different than when I joined. And so we're doing a lot of different things to make sure we're connecting with our people. I think long term, when you start to look at the labor market, 70% of the workforce is going to be women and underrepresented minorities. So I think companies are going to have to look to different talent pools and different sources of talent and probably do some different kind of investments to make sure that they're ready for the workforce when.
Is there still an issue in terms of having the right talent base for companies that are looking to grow internationally? There are always those debates on hiring local or hiring and then training and moving.
There is absolutely that. We are spending a lot of time on global, so we are actually recruiting for people, one, who have global mindsets and perspectives. We're also recruiting for people that are foreign nationals getting educated here that will eventually want to repatriate back home. But I think long-term for sustainability, you have to look at growing capability in local markets with local resources. You can supplement it with people that move across the globe, and there has to be a lot of that, but eventually you have to build capability in the local markets.
Jim Moffatt, great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.